The following program is a production of West Virginia Public Broadcasting.
Big deal. You can see how much the people love it.
No more tickets available.
This is a great community effort, and all the joy that is here. It means so much to this valley. It's the spirit of downtown and everything else. So the consortium worked for years to get this done, and they did it. And here we are.
I am so excited. I actually started many years ago here as a candy girl when they actually showed picture movies here. So I'm excited to see what all's going to happen now.
Over 6 feet tall without wearing a hat. There ain't nothing short about the wheeling cat. Big Cadillac and his bankroll fat. Everybody loves a wheeling cat.
Yeah, I'm from the OV, tell 'em. I'm from the O. I'm from the OV, tell 'em. I'm from the O. Ohio Valley. Appreciate the opportunity. Now get your hands up. Now get your hands up.
Like the breeze, country rolls. Take me home to the place where I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Take me home, country rolls.
If I were to dock you £0.50 for it, sir, you'd think yourself ill-used, wouldn't you, Cratchit?
Well, so £0.50, sir?
Yes. You don't consider me ill-used when I am forced to pay a full day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
Only once a year. That's a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December.
The Capitol Music Hall opened on Thanksgiving Day in 1928. The theater presented movies and stage shows. It's also known as home to the legendary live country music show Jamboree USA. Country music legends like Doc Williams, Johnny Cash, Loretta Lynn, Charlie Pride, and even Brad Paisley performed here. Paisley, a native of Glendale, West Virginia, crafted his musical talents on this theater stage.
It's just everything you could ask for. It's really a special place, and I'm very, very blessed to have been able to play there as a kid and be able to practice on that stage and, hone my chops in that area on such a great place where a kid could learn about country music.
From Glendale, West Virginia, make welcome Brad Paisley.
Sitting on the front porch, rain is pouring down. On the radio, there's trouble all around. And that's the way it's always been, the way it'll always be. I thank the good Lord I
Paisley says he is planning a homecoming concert at the theater in the near future. The theater, which seats more than 2,400, is the largest of its kind in West Virginia. Its Beaux-Arts architecture is awe-inspiring. It's also filled with historical treasures.
So we're going to go back into probably what was really done in the 50s. So at this point, because that we needed to meet all of the public safety issues and spend the majority of the money there, all of these pipes that you see are all part of the water and fire suppression system. That's where we had to spend all the money initially. And as you can see, there are still some dressing rooms that are actually still under construction. They've been painted, but we still need to make, like the main dressing room here, more accessible, and we still have some work to do here. But as we continue our step back into time, there's still some remnants of the theater's old heyday, Jamboree USA, which was a tremendous mainstay for this theater. We got to do some plaster work. But now we're really going to prepare to take a real big step into time. And this, I would say, be careful. But as we walk down, I mean, this is actually almost like a 6.5-story building, and people don't realize that because on the front of the building, all you see is what appears to be 1 story. But it's built on a slant, and it slopes into the valley of the river. So as you can see, we're going down into different rooms. Most of this area really hasn't been touched either just by electricians or heating and air conditioning people because there's no need to come in here. But we're walking back into 1927. And in this area, back in the old days, this place actually used to be heated through coal-fired boilers. Pretty amazing. Yeah. See, actually this building was, when it was built in 1927, was constructed to actually support an 8-story hotel facility on top of the theater. But as you know, by looking at history, in 28 and 29, the economy went into the Great Depression. Money ran out, and so the plan to build the hotel was scrapped, and they just capped off the roof, and that's what we have today. But it was built with the steel structure to support such a thing. So can you imagine there would have been men down here with piles of coal, shoveling the coal into the hot furnace, just boiling, causing the steam to go through the system. And all the while they're down here, people were enjoying this great performance upstairs or watching a silent movie. And these guys down here are acting like, you know, it's like the Titanic with this giant ship trying to keep it nice and hot. So.
Original plans even included a swimming pool. The boiler room reveals another historic connection the hall has to the Wheeling Suspension Bridge. The hall is literally connected to the suspension bridge, the world's longest suspension bridge when it was built in 1849. The theater was built around a sandstone abutment that serves as an anchor for the cables. As cars cross the bridge today, you can see the stabilizer cable inside the theater jump. The Wheeling Convention and Visitors Bureau purchased the Capitol Music Hall from Live Nation in February for $615,000. Live Nation closed the building 2 years ago because of fire safety code violations and other issues. The Convention and Visitors Bureau owns the building, and the city created the Greater Wheeling Sports and Entertainment Authority to manage the theater's operations. The Capitol Theater is also home to the Wheeling Symphony. The orchestra has played at John Marshall High School and West Banco Arena since the theater's closing.
There's something about that elegance visually, and also from a sound perspective, something about the way the old halls were built that give them a very special character, a very warm character. And that's what we've been missing for the past few years not playing here. So we're looking forward to having that warmth generate over the footlights to the audience.
The Capitol Theater's closing was also difficult for the community. It just added to the many businesses that closed in downtown Wheeling in recent years.
Without significant quality, consistent programming at the Capitol Music Hall in downtown Wheeling. In 2006 and 2007, the months of November and December, we lost an estimated $2.5 to $3 million in economic impact from the year prior when there was programming here. It's going to take some time, but I believe that we can bring it back. I think the motor coaches will come back if we have quality programming. But this time around, we really need community support. That's why we're going to use a model that this is the community's theater, so you're going to see everything from possibly a Jerry Seinfeld to a local dance school group performing here.
Tonight the public got to see phase 1 of the Capitol Theater renovations, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, and that's going to take more community involvement.
We really do see this as a 10-year project at least, and to keep every year tackling another project within the theater, moving forward. We have priorities and we have sources of funds identified, and we'll just fight it off as we go along.
City leaders estimate the theater will need another $3 to $4 million in renovations.
There's actually a $1.9 million loan that Progressive Bank stepped up and helped us to do this. So they step forward, provide the basic funding. The repayment will come from hotel, motel tax receipts, which means that comes from people who stay in hotel rooms in the Upper Ohio Valley. So we think that's just really, really great. And as I said, I think it's a pretty solid story. It just goes to show the old adage that when people come together and work together for a common cause, nothing's impossible. I think a year ago, almost everybody in this town thought it was inevitable that this building would be the next to fall prey to broken windows and a collapsed roof. You've been through the building this afternoon tonight. That's far, far, far from the truth. So if nothing else, we just want to remind people that when all folks kind of get together with common goals, put their little differences aside and work for the same thing, this is what can happen.
For Outlook, I'm Keri Brown at the Capitol Theater in Wheeling.
Long-standing tradition in houses like this to sing this song at the end of the show. If you know the words, please sing along. Stand up and sing. I was standing by my window on a cold and cloudy day when I saw that hearse come rolling for to carry my mother. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I will follow close behind her, try to hold on and be brave, but I could not hide my sorrow when they laid her in the grave. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the... I'll play one for them. I will follow close behind her, try to hold on and be brave, but I could not hide my sorrow when they laid her in the grave. Will this...
This program has been a production of West Virginia Public Broadcasting.